Hey guys, how's it going? So I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna do a draft that was actually a real draft. Um, it was one for the Heroes of the Dorm tournament. This was during one of the semifinal games, so I'm just gonna do kind of a walkthrough of the draft and um, some key points of what we're looking for, and maybe this might help. Seeing how we did it. And so based off, like, a lot of times when you're drafting in a team, and especially a competitive environment, um, a lot of times the draft is already decided before the game even starts. You won't really see too many, like, it's pretty much kind of scripted in a way. Like 2 to 3 of the picks are guarantees, and then like if one of the picks that you're going for, say we wanted to run like Maev, we already have a draft completely set up for running Maev, and we'll basically pick 3 of those picks and then deviate 2. It's not really too much. Kind of, we had never really like winged it, so I'll show like kind of a draft that we had and kind of going through the entire process. So Infernal Shrines, picks that we thought were some of the best picks was, we think Abathur, extremely strong pick here. We think Maev's a really strong pick here. We think Genji's a strong pick. We think Diablo, Blaze, Urel, these picks are all really good. And those are ones that we usually would look for or ban out. So starting off, we're the first pick here in this draft. And right away, no one on our team plays Abathur, so we're just going to ban that out. And enemy team, they knew that we like to play Maev, so they banned out Maev. Another hero that we weren't really that great at, and we chose to ban out, is Genji. And enemy team knew that we liked Alex Straza on this map, so they went ahead and banned that. And Alex Straza is, you can kind of get 10 to 20 of the objective of the little monkeys, and then pop dragon, and you kind of win the shrine from there. So it's kind of a pretty good pick there, especially for the map. And this is like one of the maps that she especially excels at. So now when we're looking at where the first pick, kind of what we said was our favorite picks on this map are kind of a few of these. Like we think Maev's really strong that we want. We also want Diablo. We think Blaze is strong. We think Urel's strong here. So what we end up going for is what we think is the strongest, which we think Diablo is. So we pick up Diablo. Enemy team, what do? They pick up one of the other ones that we said was very strong here. They pick the Blaze, and they also pick up Garrosh for their tank. So these are 2 pretty good picks. Garrosh isn't as great on the objective, but everywhere else on this map he's extremely strong. So it kind of works out too. It's totally fine for them. So now what we're looking at is we pick one of the heroes we said really strong, Urel. And so now we already have 2 of the 3 strongest heroes on this map, apart from Maev, which is banned, and Abathur, which we don't play. So so we're already off to a good start. And one thing we do is we pick a niche pick that we like to run that also counters Garrosh, and we picked Medivh. So now our draft is extremely flexible. We can, geez, wow. So, okay. We can kind of just pick up anything to just counter what they do. So we can do any type of support like a Uther with like some dive heroes like Illidan or like Greymane, We can go divey, or we don't have to. So it's really flexible based on like what healer they pick and what damage they pick. So we'll see. So for them, they pick a good hero that feels. They ban out a good damage. I'm gonna have to get rid of one. So they ban out the Hanzo. Just a good hero that fills up our damage spot, and he's also pretty decent on the shrine, which is something that we're a little lacking. We have pretty good shrine fight as of right now, but shrine clear is something that we're lacking, and that's something he's pretty decent at. So, and then ban wise for us, we ban White Maiden because we just felt like they were a pretty beefy tanky team right now, and White Maiden's pretty good at AoE healing. She does a lot of heals, can sustain the garage here, so that's one of the bans that we go for. This is where their draft kind of goes a little astray. I feel like right now both our drafts are very flexible, very strong. They end up picking Asmodan, and they pick up where is it? Can't see it. I pick a Brightwing. I think this is a mistake, if you want my opinion. I think if you don't know what your enemy's damage heroes are, you know the Medivh, which is kind of a sustain, but they could go something else, like they can go more bursty, or they can go something like a Rainer. Then if they pick Rainer Medivh, then you can pick a pretty good sustain healer like Lucio, Stukov. Not much dive going on except for the portal with Diablo. So yeah, I think you can be a little more flexible if you don't pick the support here, because you kind of want to pick the support per what their damage is. So here for us, it's kind of what damage do we want. Brightwing can't really heal a large AoE that does a ton of damage, so we end up picking Phoenix, wherever he is. Actually don't see him. I'll just search. So we pick up Phoenix because we have Lightning Breath and Purification Salvo. That'll do a lot of AoE damage, and Brightwing has the burst phase shift heal as well as the small, slow, passive AoE heal. So we were figuring, this combination of ults is going to wreck their team, and that's what we go for. And then to pad that, we also pick Deckard. So this is our team. It's very well rounded. We have okay shrine clear. Phoenix does an okay job. Jarl does a pretty decent job. We have double support, which very good sustain. We have a counter to the Garrosh. They end up last picking, I think this was a panic pick, but they end up picking Mephisto. I don't think they really knew how to counter what we had. Honestly, if I was them, it's tough. I'd probably pick something like you can't really sustain. So maybe you do something like, honestly, like a Junkrat, and you just hope to mine up the portals and then make an engage after that. So looking at the draft, we have Purification Salvo and Lightning Breath that really kind of does a lot of damage that Brightwing can't deal with. We have Medivh to kind of counter the Garrosh. We have the Medivh to counter Asmodan's burst. We have a lot to really deal with their comp. And, in Mephisto, if he ever E's, Diablo can kind of go in and charge up where his initial spot was, and Medivh can back me up with portals. So it's kind of a pretty good draft on our end. I think we really we won in the draft, and throughout the entire game it kind of was a pretty easy one for us, just because everything they had we kind of had better, and we had an answer to everything in the draft. And this is kind of the thought process of what we are going for. We really like to just draft cookie cutter to start, make sure everything that we have in the first couple picks are clean and just flexible, because we can go into a dive comp with these three even. So that's kind of what we are going for, and every single pick that the enemy takes is just, okay, how can we deal with that? And You know, maybe you don't pick Medivh, or maybe you don't play Medivh, but it's good getting that Scarash, and that's kind of what we were going for. So yeah, maybe this is a little helpful for draft wise of seeing what we kind of go for.